Gentlemen, and the 3 ladies that watch my show, we are going to be looking at my #1 pick of ConExpo, and it's not anything you guys would probably think about. I'm here with Chris. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Stan.
Okay, so but what are we looking at? Because now we have, it looks like a payloader up front, backhoe in the back. I feel like I'm looking at somebody that's got a mullet from the 1980s. What do we got going on here?
So you have roughly an... How'd you do, Dan? Good. Now we're doing the telehandler. No? Yeah. No?
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not always the most welcome person when I walk into a booth, but it is always my intention to put the people before the product. And when you butt up against the programming that these big companies want us to believe, that doesn't always make you welcome when you walk into a booth. And I think once Volvo sees what I've got to say about their grand reveal, I'll probably never be invited to another Volvo event again. And that's just fine if that's the way it's to go down, because my goal with this channel is to always put the people first. All right, guys, we are checking out what's new at Volvo, and this is their pride and joy right here, right, Danny?
Yeah, the EC230, so electric.
Okay, all electric?
Yes, it's all electric.
100%.
100%. Yep. This is the best way to start it. So if you look at the hydraulic system, so we can go around the other side, but there's battery packs stacked in the back where the engine is usually at.
Right.
Okay, which powers this electric motor,
yeah.
which in turn has a coupler, okay, here, which is driving the hydraulic pumps, right?
So what is the advantage with electric? I mean, why are we moving to that so much?
So electric is, so we're trying to reduce the carbon footprint, okay? And this is one way we can do it. It's also providing a solution for our customers. So some customers, it's really important to them for that fact of not having a diesel engine and creating the carbon, anything like that that's building up in the environment.
Okay.
So our core values in Volvo is safety, quality, environmental care. So it's just another solution for our customers.
Nice. Options.
Yeah, and
options are good. Okay.
Options. So it's not that this is taking the place of, you know, every machine right now. It's just another option.
So let's look at that battery pack. So, I mean, we've got a lot of the same stuff, even though it's electric. That's really, it's the power plant that's different, or have you changed other things about the machine to match up with the torque produced by the electric motors?
So we took 600 volt battery packs. Okay, you can see how they're stacked in here to get the energy that we need to run it for a period of time. So typically this machine will run around 4 hours constant, okay, before you have to recharge the battery.
So if you miss that, you get 4 hours of run time. But let's find out how you recharge this thing. How do you recharge it?
So you have a couple different ways. You have a DC chargers. There's a free wire charger that we could talk about and I can show you. And then when you plug it into this machine at this area right here, it downloads that energy very fast into these. Within an hour, you can have it fully charged again.
Fully charged in
Yes, sir.
1 hour?
In 1 hour. So this free wire, it will charge our machine, but it will also charge automotive, it'll charge cars, whatever.
A free wire charger is just another way of saying a Tesla charger.
But the beauty about a free wire charger is that when you pick it up to the machine, it will download that energy to that machine in less than an hour. So
it's a super rapid, fast charger. Okay, but this machine means it's married to a site, in my opinion.
There's different solutions. So this is one solution. You can have this in an area, okay? And this machine is not to replace a diesel machine that you put out in a field somewhere.
Right, yep.
And there's not a way to charge it or have a charger, okay?
Right.
But if you look, you can see volt stack over here. This is another modular battery system, okay? So this is a 30K. It's not enough because it needs roughly 150, right? So, but it's a modular system. So look at it like this. If you have a fuel truck, right?
Yep.
You have to take the fuel truck out, fill up your stuff with fuel. Now the concept is take a battery pack out to fill up your electric excavator.
So this trailer set up will or will not fill up the excavator?
It will fill up our compact excavators,
But it won't fill up the one we were just
not
looking
right
at.
now. But we've got a concept where hopefully in the future we can add more cells because it's a modular system, and we can take it to even charge something as large as that.
So how do you guys feel about battery tech? Because I'm just not excited about it. I think for every 4 hours you're running, it's like you're broke down for 1 hour while you're waiting for the machine to top back off. Out of an 8-hour day, you're sitting for 2 hours waiting for your machine to recharge. And on top of that, you've got to buy an extra trailer, stick a giant generator battery pack on that thing to be able to keep your excavator running. It just doesn't make sense to me. But there is something I am excited about, and we're going to see that right now. All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, you guys. There is a newish company starting to take over in the heavy equipment industry, and I'm here with Gabe. Gabe, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good. What do you do for these guys?
I'm the director of marketing for Sani.
Sani, that's how
Sani, that's how you say it. Sani America.
Okay, so if my understanding is correct, Sani started with 3 guys in a welding shop in China.
Correct.
And these guys just started, and this was in 1986.
1986, yeah.
And they are now global across. So this tells, what I'm saying to you guys is anything is freaking possible.
Oh, yeah.
If you really want to put and commit to it. These guys are proving it because they're starting to take over. But you tell me more about this company if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so it's a really cool story, actually, and I'll just give you a little bit of highlights. So they came together, they wanted to figure out a way to take what they were doing and make something out of it, something physical out of it. So they actually built their first excavator that they sold and started a company. They got a little bit of startup capital. It is still today a privately owned company, which a lot of people don't know, being originally out of China.
Oh my God, Dirt Monkey, how can you support a company that comes from a communist China? I support a dream. I support any person that's willing to put their neck on the line, that's willing to work harder than the next person to make their own dream come true. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't support communism. I don't support a fascist government. I don't support anything like that, but I support people like you that are willing to work harder than anybody else to achieve your own dreams and goals, and I really hope you do too. And that's why I like this company, not because of where they're from, but because of where they came from and what they fought to get to where they're at today. So why would a guy even want to look at buying one of these if they got to worry about repairs, parts, service?
They don't need to worry about that. So we now have a fully built out dealer network. We have a revamped service and parts team going through right now. Over the last 3 years, we've made an extreme effort to build the backside of our business so that as we are getting this level of exposure, like we hear at ConExpo, we do have the support network to do it.
Is any of it built in the United States?
Yes, it is assembled in the United States.
Assembled in the United. Okay,
Yeah,
and that's I'm glad you actually said that because a lot of companies don't clarify what that even means.
Okay.
So my respect level went up actually one more notch because I knew where these were built and I know what that means, and I was testing this guy to see if what kind of message that he was going to relay to you guys. Built in America does not mean made in America. Made in America means you start from scratch and everything is made right here in America. Built in America means the parts, the components come pre-assembled, and just like you build a model, that's how it's put together. Okay, so when you say assembled, tell me what that means.
So we get pieces. Some of it are already manufactured or welded together, painted, what have you, from either some of our factories in other regions or some of our suppliers.
And you have 17 new machines
Here at ConExpo.
this year.
Yes. There is more, but I can't talk about them because they're not ready until Q4.
To start from 1986 with nobody knowing, 3 Chinese guys
Yeah.
in a welding shop.
Yeah.
That is That is the American dream right there, coming to life. And it's not even in America. I mean, we're talking about in a communist country where trying to get your foot in the door is even much more difficult. But I want to start to see some of your new equipment.
We got new excavators. Our largest one ever is here. We've got a wide variety of rollers that are brand new. We've got new cranes in the back. We actually have drill rigs now. So it's all things that are either brand new for us in the States or something that's in another region that we're refining, because this Made for America, it's not just a slogan. It's what's the right way to make these machines for the American market, for the American operators. So we wanted to get their butts in the seats so they can understand how good these machines are.
Can we go look at some?
Sure.
All right, let's go. If you want to see more about the Sani, just say sanitize me. And coming up in just a minute, I get the boot. Will you guys tell me if I get the boot or if I get the stink eye as I'm walking by? But before we do that, I do want to tell you about our show's sponsor, Jobber. Every year about this time, they do a grant program where they give away $150,000 in free money to 15 to 25 people, and you don't have to belong to Jobber. It's not a requirement to enter this. It's designed to help small business owners launch their business. And I personally, I freaking love Jobber. We use Jobber inside of our company. It's a software system that streamlines our operations and helps our field personnel connect with our office. It's easy, it's intuitive, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to try out. You can dip your pinky toe in the waters and test it out. And once you start to understand how Jobber works, then you can go full steam ahead and customize this program to meet your needs. But now let's just go see if I get the stink eye. Oh wait, you know what? Before we do that, if you guys do decide to go check out Jobber or check out that grant program, make sure you tell them the Dirt Monkey sent you, because they'll do something cool for you. It's always changing. But the requirement is, if I say Jobber, they got to do something cool for you, and they have told me that they will. I don't know if it's a discount or something else, but something cool will happen. But now, stink eye time. All right, guys, I'm at the Manitou booth, and I'm with Devin. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So this is a absolutely brand new machine?
Absolutely brand new machine for Gale and Manitou.
Okay.
It's a big change for us for this is a mid-frame machine, so we can take this. So the purposes of it was because we needed to more stuff down the line, so we made a common frame between the skids and the tracks, so you could basically run this all the way down the line and get to the end and throw tracks on it or tires.
Okay, so it's the same frame, same everything. The only thing you're going to be changing with your drive motors, you don't have to change those out?
No, the drive motors and tires and stuff, that'll be what get added on.
So that'll be.
But on this machine, 90% of the parts in the tracks can go onto the skids or the tracks. They're all common parts.
So what did they change as far as the manufacturing? What are we looking at?
So we're still running a Yamar in it. We got way better. We really focused on getting better access to the batteries, serviceability of it. We got rid of the radiator back here. We moved it all up to here. It's a one piece. So your hydraulic and antifreeze all runs through one cooler. No double stacking.
Has the cab changed at all?
The cab has changed. So we got a lot more comfortability in it. Heated seats are optional now. All new switches. We're still hydraulic over hydraulic on our controls. No electric over hydraulic. We changed our bifold door. We took like 20% out of our other one and made it a better door. So it's a door that bifolds. So you got a seam here that's sealed.
Okay.
Feed, so it comes in together.
Okay. Okay. This is where I'm going to jump in here, because the Manitou loader does not make my list for the worst piece of equipment. That door makes my list for not just worst of show, but possibly one of the worst doors I've ever seen put on a skid loader in my life. And we're going to come back to that in just a few minutes. I'm just going to let you watch how the rest of this interview goes, because some weird stuff happens. Okay. And what's the warranty like on these?
2 years, 2,000. Full machine.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
What else is new in the booth, by the way?
So we got the new telehandler. The whole line made out of Yankton, South Dakota is all new here.
Okay.
It'll start at the end of the year also.
All right, can we go check that out?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, are you gonna show us around that one?
I'll do that.
All right, let's go.
Good. Now we're doing the telehandler. No? No?
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your telehandler.
Okay.
I guess they don't want to do the telehandler.
I guess they don't want to do the telehandler.
All right, good enough. Thanks,
Thank
Devin.
you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
So it became pretty clear pretty fast that these guys weren't interested in having me in their booth. But that door was really bugging me, how that laid out, and I had to go back and get a second opinion on it. Don't get me wrong, this company is still an excellent company to work for. This is the only one I've seen that makes sense today at this entire ConExpo, and what we're talking about is a hybrid.
It is a true hybrid, but from the sense that they want you to be able to run this machine without having to determine yourself, where am I going to charge this machine up and where am I going to find the next charge bank to be able to continue my work.
Yep.
So this machine has full EV mode that'll run for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, depending on what you're doing and how you're running the machine. If you decide that you need to kick over from battery mode to full power mode, diesel engine starts up, starts charging the batteries. As you deplete the batteries, 40 minutes, your batteries are fully charged. If you want to go back to work in EV mode, you can, or you can keep working in power mode. In power mode, you get your full battery and you get your full industrial engine, diesel engine, Cummins inline 4, to
And
provide
so-
all that power for the machine.
So you're not plugging in overnight somewhere.
You're not.
Your machine charges itself.
Exactly right.
You may not get that whopping 4 hours of runtime, but you're getting at least 2, and
Yeah.
then you're recharging with
That's right.
your own engine on board.
That's right.
And then you can go back to EV mode.
Exactly.
I don't know what. Is anybody else doing that? I mean, I don't know. Is anybody else doing it? Because I haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it, and this is for North America. This is the first one. It is the first one in North America to come to North America in the hybrid technology.
How does this do in the cold though? Because I'm from Minnesota and we don't have nice warm sunny days like this. Right now my guys are out snow plowing today.
Yeah, well, yes. So no, Sweden has actually prepared themselves for the cold weather. It's weather tested in Sweden. Everything does for the below 0 temps, 30 below temps. It does perfect.
Okay, so but what are we looking at? Because now we have, it looks like a payloader up front, backhoe in the back. I feel like I'm looking at somebody that's got a mullet from the 1980s. What do we got going on here?
So you have roughly a 930 loader on the front. So we're going to talk a little cat terminology since we kind of know cat. So this is a 930 loader size on the front.
Articulates in the center.
Articulates in the center. Not only just articulates, but it also articulates this way too. So for any grade, any walk-up grade that you would happen to have to maintain all wheels, again, under the ground. You have roughly a 311 to 312 back end on this Hudig as well. So
we're gonna go into full EV mode. This machine is not running off from the diesel engine at this point. And let's just see how smooth these hydraulics will work. Now with this particular unit, you have a couple different options on how you run that backhoe. You can run it from in the cab of the machine, or you can use a remote control and run it externally. Cheers. Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, and the 3 ladies that watch my show. We are going to be looking at my #1 pick of ConExpo, and it's not anything you guys would probably think about. I'm here with Chris. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Stan.
We are at the Hyundai booth,
Yes, sir.
and what we are looking at is the world's first hydrogen-powered wheeled excavator. It doesn't matter if it has wheels, tracks, or anything. It's the fact that we now have an alternative energy source to fuel equipment. Now I've known, I was telling Chris off camera, you guys, I've watched this technology in its infancy. I've known about it for years. I've waited for somebody to do this. I walked this entire show looking for somebody doing it. Nobody's doing it. Then I waited another 30 minutes for you to finish eating lunch.
Thank you again. Thank you again, Sam.
So you explain this to me. What are we looking at with this, Chris?
So we are looking at a 14-ton excavator.
Yep.
Now, this is a hydrogen fuel cell excavator. So at bare bones of it, many of the components and parts, hydraulic pumps, you know, drivetrain, that stuff is all shared with the production machine with diesel engines. However, this particular machine has in its place an electric motor which drives the hydraulics.
Brink! This is not a battery powered machine. This is not an electric machine. This is a completely different thing. So get that off your radar screen, because I am still not adapted. And you guys have your battery tech, Hyundai does.
We do.
And so does every other person in this industry. They're all chasing each other's tails down a road that I don't think is there yet.
Correct. So where this machine is different,
Yes.
instead of a monstrous battery pack, which you would need in a machine this size,
Yep.
it instead has a hydrogen fuel cell. It takes hydrogen stored in tanks on board the machine and oxygen from the atmosphere, and it harnesses a chemical reaction between those two elements, which generates electricity and emits only water.
It's a water-powered freaking machine, is what he's saying. It takes hydrogen H plus oxygen from the atmosphere, combines them together, and the only thing that this thing emits is water.
Exactly.
This is a brand new fuel source that nobody has yet optimized yet. They're not even talking about, they're not looking at it, they're not attempting to do this thing yet.
Yeah, so this is a second generation prototype. He's working on the third generation prototype already. This is the future of Hyundai.
Okay guys, I'm gonna break down, Chris and I did a long interview. Caleb just stopped me and I was telling about this pick. Let me just explain to you how this thing works.
Yes, sir.
It takes hydrogen and it pulls the air out of the atmosphere,
Yes, sir.
and it combines those two elements together, and that chemical reaction creates the fuel which powers the machine, and the emission is water. So that's how this thing creates zero emission, creates power,
Yes,
and
sir.
gives us an alternative fuel source that gives you a full day runtime with 20 minutes it takes to top it off.
Well, that's pretty cool. That is pretty neat.
Whoa, Dirt Monkey, I see so many holes with this thing and so many problems with it. How do you even get hydrogen to top off your excavator? Well, I got you covered, brother. Hydrogen costs about the same as diesel fuel and is already readily available, and it can be delivered out to your machine the same way that propane is delivered to cabins that are heated off from propane. Meaning they just got a big cylindrical tank, they come it out there, they hook up the hose to your machine, 20 minutes, you're down the road and you're working for another 8 hours. And your exhaust is pure H2O. But I wanted to find out if that H2O was contaminated or how clean that was, because if it ain't clean, then we ain't gaining nothing.
Doesn't
Now-
taste good, but it can be
Yeah.
safe.
You can drink the water.
Yeah.
You can drink the emissions from this machine.
Yeah. So we had a live demo in front of a bunch of media on was that Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and I put a cup under the pipe. Mr. Kwan evacuated the steam the condensation chamber, and yeah, had a little bit of water in there. Somebody dared me to drink it. Clearly, obviously.
You got to.
But
But do you guys remember that overhead door that I was talking about earlier? That thing kind of drove me crazy. And I didn't want to say anything good, bad, or in between, but I had to go back and revisit it. And I wanted to get somebody besides my own opinion on that door. So let's go do that right now. Yeah, have you seen that door yet?
No, I just seen you do that and I was like,
Will you check that door out for me? I'm having some conflict over this thing.
so
At first I thought it was cool. It's smooth, but it's like right there. Yeah. Now let me ask you something.
that would piss me off all day long.
That line would?
Yes,
That line would drive you crazy.
that line would drive me nuts. That line would drive me nuts. I mean,
Okay, so now the work I do, I get a lot of dirt. I work in dirt, wet, muddy, nasty clay. When you put that door down, my doors get covered in mud. How do I clean that before I open it? Because I'm looking at this going, it's gonna make a mud patty. That mud's gonna squish together and scratch that glass up.
Oh yeah, especially because it's not glass, it's poly, and so, and then yeah, the wipers clean it.
Even the seal is like, how is that going to stay sealed?
Well, I can see how they're making it seal because they got a V-notch here and a V-notch here.
Okay.
And so when you come together with it, the notches go together. So it's going to hold dirt out. I can see that.
It's going to hold dirt what?
It's going to hold it out.
Out.
Yeah. Because you see how the V is?
Yep.
It's got the V here and it's got the V here. So.
Okay, how do you feel about that thing coming right in your face as you're opening and closing it? Now, I'm not intentionally putting my head forward or backward. This is where this door is coming.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but
Well, I got his opinion on that overhead door. Now I want yours. What do you guys think of that? Would you run one of those on your piece of equipment? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching the process, simply the thumbs up button goes a long way. But that's it for this one. God bless. Go get them, you guys.